Hello and welcome to Too Far Tech. Are you all ready for a long video? By the end of this video, you will know the T100 is a perfect gaming PC for the price. You will also understand how we make sure this PC is reliable and stable when giving that ultimate performance. You can see some background activity in the video which I will explain shortly. You all know that T100 is a pre-built gaming PC from Too Far Tech team. This video shows we test each T100 before it's certified to be shipped to you. This process is also a short form of how we decide each component on the T100 is selected. Too Far Tech is known to make sure to get the best balance in terms of price versus performance versus reliability. These are the three main aspects we focus on when we do a budget and entry level gaming PCs. So the focus of this video is the reliability, stability and the performance of the T100 pre-built gaming PC. For example, you are wondering if the 450 watts of power supply is enough for this build, or do I need more fans, or will the gameplay be the same after 30 minutes, or will it slow down, or will the game crash when the PC heats up? All these kind of doubts will be cleared by watching this video. You will have answers to all that. You will also know about the 450 watts power supply selection, the idle power usage, the maximum power usage, the PSU stability, the CPU and chassis cooling, the maximum processor temperature, maximum graphics card temperature, overall system stability, and the CPU cooler performance. You will also understand the memory and motherboard compatibility, the total system benchmark and performance, and the gaming benchmark and performance. So let me explain what's happening in the background video really quick and explain why the reliability test is actually performed. Certain stress test and torture test is performed to ensure the hardware can withstand normal usage, intensive usage and extreme abuse. This test is done by running AIDA 64 stability test and MSI Kombustor burn-in test at the same time. These two programs create a synthetic load on the processor, memory, motherboard, graphics card, power supply and the cooling system of the PC. You can see the CPU plus GPU plus memory is at 100% load. Normally such continuous stress isn't possible on the PC. The normal programs wouldn't put this kind of stress for a long time. The stress might be for few minutes but not like the way we do it. The test which is showcased in this video for 1 hour will prove that the PC can withstand such continuous stress without any crash or failure, and that proves that the T100 is reliable. While the test is running, we also continuously monitor and measure the temperature of all major components through hardware info 64, and the external components are measured through an infrared thermometer. We also analyze the power consumption while idle and peak, and as you can see, the peak usage of the power is way below the 450 watts capability of the PSU. With 1 hour stress test and system reaching stable temperature, it's clear that the cooling system, which includes case fan, CPU cooler, GPU cooler and the PSU cooler, is working as expected. Since AIDA 64 is also stressing the memory and the motherboard, it also assures that the compatibility of the system is 100%. When we actually build the proof of concept, this combination was put through an extreme torture test of 48 hours of stress to pass the initial qualification and requirement. So if we are going to say that 450 watts or the power or the motherboard isn't good enough, we can say that we know better. Now let me update you with some basic information like the idle power usage, the maximum power usage, the maximum CPU temperature, and the maximum graphics card temperature on the screen. We engineered this system so that big CPU cooler does add to the cost of the PC, but it will allow for much cooler CPU temperature, which allows the CPU to remain under boost and maximum performance at the same time. This cooler also removes the heat to the rear CPU case fan, so the CPU case doesn't get filled with hot air like the basic Intel cooler, which spreads the heat all around the case. The bigger cooler is also silent and maintains a steady temperature in the case, so the case fans can run at a constant speed without being too noisy. The case fans were also selected for their silent but high airflow performance. So as you can see, we did our homework when we put together the T-100 gaming PC. Basically, reliability means the PC works continuously without failure from the components or failure due to stress. Keep working under all conditions, no matter the load. In the next part, we will check the stability of this setup. You can see from the video that there is some graphical load on the PC. This is the 3D Mark time spy stability test. It will keep load on the PC with a similar gaming video without breaks and measure the change in performance in each loop. As the PC goes through this stress over a period of time, if the components are not stable, they will start slowing down. This slowness or performance loss is measured and given to us in a percentage variation towards the end. We are considering the T-100 to be an entry-level gaming PC with stable performance. It means under any circumstances, the PC and the performance must be stable. What is the point if you get the performance in the first 5 minutes and the PC components are throttling after that and your performance reduces by 5 or 10%? It wouldn't be a pleasant experience to have FPS drops after a few minutes of gameplay. We already proved the PC is reliable. Now we move to make the PC stable. The software and hardware plays a major role in this activity. We try our best to get stability by natural means, simple and basic engineering combined with stable drivers and updates. Typically, a bad cooling system or bad airflow in the case can make your PC unstable or give you poor overall experience. Our engineering makes sure that you won't face such issue if you keep your CPU case clean and well maintained over the period of time. As you can see from the end score and the percentage and the measurement of temperature and performance being almost flat, no exponential increase or game crash. This is our effort and commitment to our T-100 gaming PC. Last but not the least, you get to see two main aspects of this PC: the day-to-day usage and the gaming performance. Since we already established the PC is reliable and stable, we will now show the performance. The day-to-day and overall performance is measured by PCMARK 10. PCMARK software is used by professionals for decades to measure and benchmark the performance of a PC. I have been using PCMARK for almost 20 years, and we use PCMARK extended version on every build to ensure it performs the same as our standard benchmark or better. When we build the T-100, we do our best and benchmark it. After that, all the T-100 sold will be benchmarked and we will make sure it is the same or better than the first model. PCMARK, as you can see from the video, does all kind of benchmarks for everything from essential usage to productivity, digital content creation and gaming, and it monitors every crucial aspect during the test and provides us with graph that helps us to understand the true nature and strength of this PC. As you can see, the test yielded a score of 4818. So what does this mean, or how does it matter? PCMARK also gives us an estimation of overall performance compared to standard PCs that have been benchmarked. and it clearly shows that it beats the 9th gen i7 processor laptop by a fair amount and comes close to a standard gaming laptop with a dedicated graphics card like the GTX 2060. So, should I explain more? The gaming performance is measured in two major ways. First one is the reliable 3D mark method, which puts the PC through a predetermined gaming video rendering. It stresses all the components related to gaming and gives a final number similar to PCMARK. And I've been using this for a very long time, and I use 3D marks extensively to actually determine which configuration is better than the other. For example, I was providing a configuration that included the i7-3770 and the GTX 1050 Ti, and I wanted to know whether the i3-9100 and the GTX 1050 Ti would perform better. I have the answer to this because I put both configurations to the test, and here the numbers speaks for themselves. So anyways, we have a score of 2655, that is 2655, and you can also see the performance and the vital graph. It also allows me to compare this with a standard gaming PC with different configuration. You can see where the T100 stands. It's still better than a laptop with i7 processor and does half the performance of an RTX 2060. Unfortunately, in today's market, the RTX 2060 is priced around 2500 or more, while you can buy our whole gaming PC for AIDA 2300 or around that price. And we are proud to say that our price and build combinations put this PC into a class of its own. Finally, we run the CineBench R20 to get a score on the single core processor of 399 points and a multi-core performance of 1621 points, which puts it a few steps below the i7 7700K. This gives you an idea of the performance of the processor and also helps us compare it with every T100 we built. The controversial user benchmark is also part of our test because it tells us how good each system is or stacks against similar configuration worldwide. Our PCs are aimed towards great stability and reliability, so we look for a decent score. It's in between 60 to 8, and all the PCs that we ship are typically in that range without any overclock or extreme measures. And I can assure you that if I put together another T100 with the exact configuration and parts, I still might not be able to get the same percentile. This is the interesting and challenging part of the build, and the reason why we use the UserBenchmark software, so we can always try to get that last bit of performance and the best score possible before we ship out the PC. So you must all be wondering if we perform all these tests on all our builds, for which we say we do. It's our commitment to provide the best quality from 2FarTech, and that's why we provide the same information on each PCs as the form of a certificate, one of a kind mission from 2FarTech. So after hearing all this and getting all the confirmation, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get this PC as long as the stock lasts. We do have another video of 14 game tested on the T100. If you haven't watched, go ahead and have a look at that, and also check out the blog which shows all the videos and details related to the T100. So thank you for watching, and you all have a wonderful day.